What happens when you refuse to play by the rules in a sport that demands conformity? What happens when you choose authenticity over acceptance? What happens when being yourself costs you everything you've worked for? Hailie Deegan had it all. Multi-million-dollar backing, historic victories, a clear path to NASCAR's biggest stages. Then she made a choice that changed everything. She refused to be the good girl that NASCAR wanted, and it cost her more than anyone could have imagined. This is the story of a driver who chose to race on her own terms and paid the ultimate price. Let's start with something that'll blow your mind. Hailie Deegan was supposed to be NASCAR's golden ticket. Born into racing royalty as the daughter of motocross legend Brian Deegan, she had speed in her DNA and fire in her belly from day one. We're talking about a driver who started winning races before she could legally drive on public roads. At just 8 years old, she won her very first race in the SXS Stadium Series Trophy Kart class in 2009. By 2013, at 14 years old, she became the first female driver ever to win a Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series championship. But here's where the story gets interesting. Even as a teenager, Hailie was already showing the aggressive style that would define her career. She wasn't content with just participating. She wasn't interested in being the inspirational female driver who finished respectably in the middle of the pack. Hailie Deegan came to win, and she didn't care whose feelings got hurt in the process. When she made the jump to pavement racing in 2016, NASCAR took immediate notice. She joined the NASCAR Drive for Diversity program, received the NASCAR Diversity Young Racer Award, and became the youngest member of the prestigious NASCAR Next class in 2017. Everyone was watching. Everyone had expectations. And that's when the problems started. In 2018, running full-time in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West, Hailie did something that shocked the racing world. She didn't just compete with the boys, she beat them. Her first victory came at Meridian Speedway in Idaho, where she passed teammate Cole Rouse on the final lap in a move that had fans on their feet and competitors shaking their heads. It was a classic bump and run, aggressive but fair, decisive but controversial. That win made her the first woman to score a victory in the K&N Pro Series in decades. But instead of celebrating her breakthrough, the racing community started questioning her methods. The criticism got louder in 2019 when she scored her second K&N West victory at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, another last lap pass, another controversial finish. Then came the race that really set tongues wagging, Colorado National Speedway, where Hailie spun out her own teammate Derek Kraus on the final lap to take the victory. Racing veteran Todd Souza wasn't impressed with her tactics, calling her driving full-on disrespect and saying she drives like she's a spoiled, rotten little baby. But here's what the critics missed. Hailie Deegan was doing exactly what every successful NASCAR driver before her had done. She was racing hard, taking chances, and refusing to settle for second place. The only difference? She was a woman doing it in a male-dominated sport that wasn't ready for that level of aggression from a female competitor. When Hailie made her ARCA debut in 2019, she came with a simple philosophy: I'm done playing nice. That attitude served her well on the track, where she scored multiple top 5 finishes and proved she could compete at the next level. But off the track, the pressure was building. Sponsors wanted a marketable female driver, someone who could sell products while being non-threatening to male fans. Team owners wanted results without controversy. NASCAR wanted a role model who could inspire young girls without alienating traditional supporters. Hailie Deegan wanted none of that. After showing real promise in ARCA, Hailie made a decision that racing insiders still debate today. She left Toyota's development program, widely considered the gold standard for young drivers, to join Ford's system. Kevin Harvick, the 2014 Cup Series champion, was blunt in his assessment. Toyota has the best development program in the sport. Leaving that was a mistake. But Hailie saw it differently. Toyota had too many drivers competing for too few seats. At Ford, she believed she'd have more opportunities to showcase her talent. Looking back, that move might have been the beginning of the end for her NASCAR dreams. In 2021, Haley got her shot at the big time with a full-time ride in the NASCAR Truck Series. The expectations were sky high. She was voted most popular driver in her rookie season, proving fans were behind her. But the results on the track told a different story. 22 races, 0 wins, just one top 10 finish. The critics who had been whispering got louder. "She's all hype," they said. "She can't compete at this level," others claimed. But here's what critics didn't understand. Haley was fighting battles they couldn't see. She was racing against drivers who'd been in the series for years, with teams that had decades of experience. More importantly, she was racing in a sport where female drivers often face different treatment from competitors who see them as either easy targets or threats to be eliminated. By 2024, Haley had moved up to the Xfinity Series with AM Racing, driving the number 15 Ford Mustang. This was supposed to be her redemption story. Instead, it became her nightmare. 17 races into the season, her best finish was 12th at Talladega. The team was struggling with equipment, strategy, and chemistry. When AM Racing made the shocking decision to replace Haley with two-time Cup Series champion Joey Logano for the Chicago street race, it sent a clear message. The writing was on the wall. On July 8, 2024, AM Racing and Haley Deegan officially announced they were going their separate ways. It was corporate speak for a brutal reality. NASCAR's most promising female driver was suddenly unemployed. What happened next surprised everyone in the racing world. Instead of scrambling to find another NASCAR ride, instead of accepting a step back to the Truck Series, instead of compromising her values for another chance, Haley Deegan walked away from NASCAR entirely. In October 2024, she announced she was joining HMD Motorsports to compete in the Indy NXT Series, America's premier open-wheel development program. It was a shocking career pivot that caught everyone off guard. So what really cost Haley Deegan her NASCAR career? Was it lack of talent? Her aggressive driving style? Poor equipment? Or was it something deeper? A sport that still struggles with how to handle female drivers who refuse to fit into neat, marketable packages. The evidence suggests the latter. Haley's statistics, while not spectacular, weren't dramatically worse than other drivers who kept getting opportunities. Her marketability was undeniable. She had more social media followers than most Cup Series drivers. Her work ethic was never questioned, even by her harshest critics. But she refused to be the good girl that NASCAR wanted. She bumped when she had to bump. She spoke her mind when asked for her opinion. She raced like she belonged, not like she was grateful for the opportunity. In a sport where female drivers are often expected to be humble, grateful, and non-threatening, Haley Deegan was confident, determined, and aggressive. And ultimately, that cost her everything. Today, Haley Deegan is starting over in the Indy NXT Series, driving the number 38 for HMD Motorsports. She's 23 years old. She's talented. She's determined to prove that walking away from NASCAR was the right decision. The transition won't be easy. Open-wheel racing requires different skills, different techniques, different mental approaches than stock car racing. But if there's one thing we've learned about Haley Deegan, it's that she's never backed down from a challenge. What do you think? Did NASCAR push out its most promising female driver because she wouldn't play by their unwritten rules? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more stories about the drivers who refuse to conform to what racing expects them to be. This is Track Reactions, and we'll see you at the track.